My medical conspiracy experience. In my mid-20s, I developed diabetic neuropathy. All doctors I contacted told me it is incurable. Your nervous system will die off. All we can give you is some drugs to make the pain less. I refused to hear such words and began to investigate solutions. Having been on the internet since 1992, I had access to then unfiltered information. I searched and searched for my remedy. After 2 weeks straight of nonstop searching, I found a remedy that required hundreds of ingredients to heal every cell in my system that could be restored. I began my treatment of taking certain calculated amounts of supplements when I woke, an hour before each meal, at each meal, 1 hour after each meal, and before bed. Within 2 months, and less than $1,000, I had cured my incurable diabetic neuropathy. I also stumbled across much literature explaining the cures to diseases, yet none of that information was being used by the hospitals I regularly visited for diabetes. In the mid-1980s, I read a Time magazine article by a doctor in China who had perfectly cured AIDS in men and women. I remembered that as nothing was ever heard about his cure ever again while countless numbers passed away from that terrible disease. I studied more about doctors in Canada who successfully cured diabetes in men and women by injecting chili into the pancreas, which decreased the swelling of the cells that release insulin. Later I found out their company was bought out by a big pharmaceutical company, and the cure never released. On 3 separate occasions my mom went to conferences by doctors or scientists who cured cancer with certain machines, only to tell me a few months later those doctors were dead, and their facilities were burned down or their machines were stolen. Freedom is never more than 1 generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Ronald Reagan. What light is to the eyes, what air is to the lungs, what love is to the heart, liberty is to the soul of man. Robert Greene Ingersoll.